Okay, so first of all, we focused on actual group that Jackie is teaching at the moment at Altum. So there are 6 students, 5 females and 1 male, and their needs are to learn basic English grammar structures. And according to the coordinator, their education background, around 40% of students in this course may have certain notions of the language in terms of vocabulary, classroom commands, and short phrases. Yet the rest of them do not seem to have much experience with the language, much exposure. And in experience with the target language, well, similar to this, they have received very basic English classes at their regular school. It is not their first encounter with the language. Most of them also have parents who speak in English, so they also encounter the language at home, not only in school. Parents' expectations. And according to the coordinator, again, parents often claim they want their children to learn English in order for them to use it while traveling and to be well prepared for both academic and professional life. And community expectations. Since this is a private institution, the community expect the teachers to be well prepared and delivered good language classes. And what is expected from the attendees is that they learn to communicate in the target language effectively. And then we have the nature of the course in the institution. And again, according to Diego, the coordinator, the purpose of the course is to introduce language to students by building solid foundations of different skills, as well as language systems that will reflect upon their overall performance when it comes to actually understanding and using the language in basic daily life situations. And finally, are students required to take a placement test? No, they are not required to take any test in order to be accepted to the school or to be placed in a course.
The time in these classes, in these courses, is around 50 hours in a 3-month period. And the teaching resources that they use in Altum School is that, well, the materials is that students can use internet. They also have a course book, and well, the teacher use a whiteboard. And for the required test or the book that they use is English Code 1 by Pearson. And the developable materials is the materials that the teacher used, that is Jamboard and Padlet. And lastly, the equipment, that is the materials that they have at school too, is a projector, speaker, laptop, and a whiteboard.
As for the setting, the school or the location is blended learning, meaning that students, they go to school, but they also have the chance to video call, though the teacher has to present every class. I cannot teach, for example, at home, and my students, they can't be in the classroom. I have to be in the classroom. And sometimes we can mix students, for example, some are in the classroom and some others decide not to go to school because of something else happened. So they take their classes on video call on Google Meet. Now the classroom, it's big, it has a lot of space, has comfortable chairs, as you can see in the pictures, and big, large tables. Now, when working online, we use Google Meet, where the link is always the same. And also, I share with them the platform of the book so they can have access to it and answer online.
Well, hello, good morning. We're the second team, and we decided to, instead of basing on an existing syllabus, we decided to design a new syllabus. And we are Grisel, me and Frida. Can you go to the next slide, please? So the first section is about people. That's what the chart says. And here we try to answer these 3 questions. How many students are in the course? There are 8 students. The average gender is female, like there are more females than males. It's 5 females and 3 males. And what are the students' needs? There are 3 needs based on the students. Students want to get better, a better position at work, since this is designed for adults. So they are currently like either at their at university or at work. So they want to get a better position at work. The students need English for finishing their professional studies. As it is known in some universities, they ask for English to finish the studies. And lastly, students want to improve their academic writing skills. Can you? Okay, here we have some educational background, which is what education they have and which in which if it's private or public. So the first student is, well, we have high school, then we have bachelor, high school, master's degree, 3 master's degree, and then bachelor. Some of these they have a part-time job as well. So, but we focus more on the education they have. Experience with the target language. Is it the first time they study? 4 of them have some experience with it, but they decided to start since level 1. Then the other 3 have had this exposure to it through social media, like videos in YouTube or a series on Netflix or Instagram, etc. And just 1 of them has never had any interaction with the language whatsoever. Then we move on to expectations. What are parents' expectations? They expect their children to acquire the necessary skills to communicate, to help students finish their studies, so that English will help them finish their studies at university or the master's, and to help students become good users of English. So this is kind of like, it goes with the first one, so they are able to interact with the language, in the language. And then we have community's expectations. How does the community see this course in general? They have high expectations, since it's not a public, since it's not something public, it's more kind of private. They have high expectations of the quality of the classes and the teachers and the content. That has to do with the next one, which is teachers are qualified. Yeah, thank you. Teachers are qualified. Again, this has to do with, oh, so I'm paying more because this is kind of like private lessons, so I expect the teachers to be qualified. And the course is certified. That means that we have the requirements to provide a good course. And then lastly, the school administrators' expectations. What do they expect this course to be? They expect students to achieve the learning goals of the course. They expect them to have a positive experience, so that they enjoy it, not like they are forced to be in the class. The students gain knowledge of the language, to actually learn. And Mila, I'm sorry, my dog got in my room. Okay. And then lastly, is they expect students to develop skills in online English classes. Since we are right now in this modality, we decided to base it in online. So they the school administration knows that it's kind of difficult for students nowadays to truly learn and to acquire or develop skills of the language through online classes, but they expect from this course that students can acquire said skills. Now
So now for the nature of the course and the institution. So this type of course is English for general purposes, and its main focus is on grammar. So we will basically, this syllabus is adapted to teach grammar structures. And the placement test, students do not share the same learning experience. As we can see the background from students, some of them are with lower education, some of them have a bachelor degree, some of them a master's degree, and others are still in high school. And for the time, we chose 1 hour per day through Monday through Friday to 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And in total, it will be 120 hours in 6 months. And the schedule fits the students' needs, since all of them, they have activities, they all still studying and have part-time jobs. The class is at noon because it's when they are free and have more accessibility to the class. And as for the location, since it's an online course, we don't have a physical location. So it will be virtual through the Zoom platform with the same link for all the classes.
Okay, now it's time to talk about the teaching resources that we are going to use in our course. So as my classmates mentioned, this is going to be online. So we may use online materials, of course, and we decide to choose these platforms and websites to provide a good material for students to work on. Like we have Socrates, Menti, WordWall, Kahoot, Cambridge Dictionary, and also PowerPoint presentations. So in an online setting, now we have the opportunity to provide a lot of resources for our students to work with. And we think that these platforms are quite useful. And if they know how to use it, they will get like a lot of input from them. And it is our goal also to teach them how to use it if they don't know. And the course required text. And we decided to add some of official websites that provide a good material related to text. British Council is one of the best. You can find a lot of text here. ESL Lab is also another one that you can find on internet, and Pearson Material. And we decide to choose this one because if you buy like a membership, you can get access to a lot of material here. And what else? Are we gonna develop our own material? Yes, we are going to provide the students worksheets, quizzes. This is pretty common Kahoot nowadays that they really enjoy, even though if they are adults, they think if they are doing something new besides the same typical presentation, then go for test. But if they have something to enjoy with Kahoot, so it's gonna be better experience for them. As I say, interactive games, WordWall, and that is another platform that provides a lot of options to play with your students in a way that they are learning at the same time. And what about the equipment? So as again, since we are working in an online setting, we need laptop, internet connection, hopefully it is good, and a microphone. That is basically our equipment.
This is our syllabus presentation, which we're like, I guess, team 3. And yeah, this is us. So we're gonna go ahead and present our course context in chart form. So first, we're going to talk about the people section. We decided that the number of students should be 25 because we wanted to sort of recreate a regular classroom although you'll see later on that we gave it a little bit of a spin. So roughly 25 students. It could be less, it could be more, but it has to be like that, like somewhere around that number. Let's say that the margin is like 3 students over or less. The gender we thought didn't really matter. We thought that mix would be fine, although I guess ideally you would want to have like as much as 50-50 when it comes to diversity in that regard for whatever reason. But then students' needs, we put down the 4 basic students' needs that when it comes to studying English, they have these goals, which is like to study English in order to like be able to travel, get better job opportunities because they're forced by their parents or for entertainment. Um, when it comes to educational background, we chose that we would have students that should have, I guess this is basically like little to no educational background. Basic education acquired, when we're talking about that, we meant like basically just the classes that they had in like their public schooling or something like that, rather than going outside and seeking it out. Um, and experience with the target language, again, basic exposure through mandatory courses throughout public school attendance. So yeah, they're not true beginners, but their knowledge on the language is pretty basic. Parents' expectations, when we thought, the more we thought about it, we thought that parents don't really have like a lot to expect out of students other than, okay, they can speak English, and for them is a binary process. So if they know a few words, then they're like, okay, they know English, and they just think it's good enough. So that's the only reason that we gave like the parents' expectations this. Administrators' expectations, we chose that for students to be able to communicate in English in a competent way, and we chose specifically to phrase it this way because we know that it's literally impossible to be perfect when it comes to speaking a language. But we were trying to like allow them to acquire the language just enough in order to communicate their ideas. So we're basically like um, concentrating more on meaning and use rather than form. And finally, with community expectations, this one we thought of 3 expectations that we could have that the community could have in the school in this syllabus, which is like number 1, education. The community expects that learning takes place. It should also be competent and relevant to the resources being presented to the students. Number 2, responsibility. The community expects teachers to be professional when it comes to their students and colleagues. They are also expected to be respectful with a strong moral code. And number 3, order. The community expects this institution to be a safe environment where the students and faculty alike can thrive without having to worry about unwarranted hostility. We just thought that these are like the most important ones and not really expected out of a regular school, I guess you could say, but something that you can expect from a language only school. And now we're gonna be talking about these ones.
So the next 2 points are the nature of the course institution and the setting. By the way, I don't know if Luis mentioned it, but we also decided to create our own syllabus instead of being based on an already existing one. And so the course type is English for general purposes, as in basic English, what you will generally expect from a English course to develop proficiency in the language. The placement, do we need a placement and admission test? Well, we wouldn't need one because this is, again, a general purposes course, an English for general purposes. So since we're also focusing on a first level, beginners, we don't believe that it is necessary to have a placement test for obvious reasons. Since it's level 1, there's no really anything, or we don't have like other levels that the students could be placed. And well, as of my knowledge, there is no English course that requires an admission test. And the location, we actually decided to do it virtual in Zoom, since we came to believe that it would be the most convenient, taking in consideration the current situation. Of course, this is all hypothetical, but we thought it would be interesting to deal with a different type of setting, which in this case will be a virtual one. And lastly, well, since we're gonna be doing it in a virtual classroom, ideally all the students will have the same link of Zoom every time, and it will be the same virtual room. So yeah, pretty much that's it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Crisel, go ahead.
Okay, yes, I have problems with the microphone too. The time duration of the syllabus will be 120 hours during 6 months, and during 1 month they will have 20 hours. The meeting frequency will be from Monday to Friday, and the meeting duration will be just 1 hour, and they will have the meeting at 6 p.m. The teaching resources, the materials that are available will be Zoom's whiteboard presentations in PowerPoint presentations, documents, digital resource in general. And the resources required, the resources provided are going to be by Cambridge University and my English lab, that is Percy, and material developed. Well, occasionally we are going to make presentations to explain to students the grammar points and the rules, the things that they need to study during the unit. And the equipment will be the computer, laptop, cell phone, anything to be connected to the session.